summer cut. Oh, okay. All right. We will go ahead and I'd like to welcome everyone to the May 27th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting. And our agenda, do we have anyone that wants to?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
All right, I have a motion.
Second motion.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. No items on, then the approval of the minutes. Yes, yes. Does anyone have anything to add or change to the minutes that has not already been communicated?
Nope.
Okay. Then I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Go for it, Pete.
Oh.
Make the motion.
He's been on the motion.
I'm letting you make the motion.
I
Make a motion to approve the
make
minutes.
a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
All right, a motion and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so nothing on the consent agenda, but we do have a new planning commissioner. So we want to welcome Pete Pratt to the planning commission. And do you want to tell us just a little about yourself?
I grew up in Orem.
I was going to say, yeah.
This one, me. Do we care about patching online? Yeah, so I grew up in Orem, but raised all of our kids here in Springville. We've got 3 kids, one left in high school. She's a senior. That's weird. She's a senior at Springville Junior, and we've got 1 2-year-old granddaughter. I've done construction most of my life, disaster restoration for 20 years, for electrical for 7. Not really an electrician, but that's about it.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you
Appreciate
for
having me.
accepting the call to be on the commission.
Of course, happy to serve.
All right, and we have our legislative session, and Carly, you're going to be presenting. All right, so Planner Weiss will present on Eternal Spring, requesting to amend Springville City Code Title 11, Chapter 5, Overlay District Regulations to add senior housing overlay zone.
Welcome, Commissioner Pratt. It says why am I denied? I'm starting off denied. I went to right where you said.
Council run. Okay. Great question.
Did I get fired? You didn't tell me.
That's a tough start.
You're not logged in as yet.
Oh, okay. So then you got fired.
Council room.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Okay.
there you go.
Yes, we won't be doing there's really nothing in the presentation that isn't in your staff report. So, my name is Carla Weesey. I do long-range planning and economic development, and you'll see me and Josh probably more than anybody else. You'll get to know as well. The Eternal Springs Senior Housing Overlay has come before the commission with various matters quite a bit. Originally, we started with the rezone for the property they bought because the zone bisected their property. We got that rezoned. Then they came to us to do senior housing, which is something new that we did not have in the neighborhood commercial zone. And so that was something we had to continue the item while we figured out how to do residential in a zone that was set for commercial development. And so Greg's been great to work with, and has really, and Josh, I really cannot take any credit for this other than typing this report. worked really hard to come up with something that would work for everyone. That it would meet the needs that Greg and Ashford Living have for their independent senior living, but yet still met the goals and objectives of the city in creating walkable neighborhoods that are welcoming and have follow through that with the complete streets. So they sent us over a amendment for the code with their version. I tweaked it a little bit just to make so the language was consistent with what we have in other sections of our code, and to kind of enhance the purpose and intent as far as it relates to our general plan. Other than that, there are no substantive changes as far as setbacks or the activation of the public realm with garages and parking behind, so that the streets are not met, so that as you're walking on the streets, you're not met with just a large block of garages or parking. And we worked with the setbacks. And so it's something that will work for both, and we're really glad that we were able to finally get this to a point where we could bring in its final version to you guys, because I know you've seen it a lot, and Greg's worked hard on what he wanted, and so has the city. So yeah, I feel like we're in a really good place with it right now. So any questions on any of this? Okay. All right, then I will stop that part, and you can do the fun part.
And our petitioner, would you like to come up and say anything?
Just kind of reiterating what Carla said, in working with staff, we were able to work well with Josh, and I'm sure there were people behind the scenes that helped as well with writing the new code and everything. So we appreciate them, but no other comment unless you have questions for me.
Any questions
No question
for Greg? No?
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so this being
I would say thank you to everybody who worked so hard. This wasn't an easy one.
yes, thank you for the hard work that was put into it on all sides.
Yeah,
So,
all sides.
A little bit more difficult than we thought it would be.
Yeah.
Just looking at it on its face, so, but it's turned out well, I think.
it's a job well done to find
long?
something that everyone is happy with.
How long was it in the works?
We started this back in February of 2024 was the original rezoning of the property. And then that, of course, had to go through the council. And then came back, and yeah, we went back and forth a few times. So it's been just a little over a year. Greg thought he had the easy peasy amendment, and, of course, I agree with it.
No such thing.
All right, as this is a legislative item, we will open a public hearing. If anyone comes to speak, make sure you state your name and address.
See, no one is coming forward. I'll move to close the public hearing.
I have a motion to close
I'll second the motion.
and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Our next item is,
Oh, now you have to vote on that.
oh, you're right. Wait, yes, you're right.
We need a motion.
Our next item is to vote on
All right.
the recommendation.
If it's all right, I'll move to approve the amendments to the Springville City Code, Title 11, Chapter 5 Overlay District Regulations, adding senior housing overlay zone as edited by staff.
And I'll second the motion to approve the amendments to the Springville City Code, Title 11, Chapter 5 Overlay District Regulations, adding senior housing overlay zone as edited by staff.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and so, thank you very much. That will now go on to City Council.
The second item up for legislative consideration tonight is an amendment to the Springville Code, Title 11, Chapter 4, Article 301, which is our land use matrix. You will become very familiar with our land use matrix,
Yeah.
more than you want to know,
Great.
I promise you. So As I'm sure you are aware, for the most part, we worked on a North Main Street small area plan in association with Mountain Land Association of Governments. That plan has not been formally adopted, as we have been working with some other large developments at the north end of the town on 1400 North and Main Street to work on the design guidelines. So while the plan has not been adopted, both the community board and the council are aware of what is in it, and the idea that we wanted to activate the northern end of Main Street in a more walkable manner, recognizing that it is different than our historic downtown in nature, but that doesn't mean that we can't improve the activation and the interface with the public on the streets and with multimodal transportation. So with that, we took it to the community board to talk about the types of uses that they may not want to see in this area as we move forward. And what we wanted to do, because we have a couple of parcels of land that people are calling about all the time, wanting to put in, hey, can I, and I'm sure you know which one it is. It's 1001 North Main. It's the old Maurer home. The Maurers own it. It's right next to Subway there on the west side of the road. Yeah, little white house that's all boarded up, yes. So we've had a lot of interest in that, people wanting to come in, put in a used car lot, wanting to put in an auto repair. And we are kind of inundated with those along the north end. We're not opposed to them necessarily by the use, but there are good ways to make those businesses look, and that is what we're talking about, more form than the function. And so as part of the review of the zoning that we will be doing with our general plan, we wanted to, for the time being, put certain uses that would not be allowed within 500 feet of Main Street. It's just kind of a stopgap measure to prevent that until others come in. So like I said, it is just from the 400 North to 1060 North. It's a small section, but the uses are limited. We didn't take everything off, of course, and you can see oh no, you can't. Yes, I outlined them in the staff report, and so that's kind of just where we are right now with this, and so that is why we brought this to you before you tonight. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those.
How many property owners are we talking about in that stretch?
I don't know the exact number. There's probably about 4 or 5 that would be impacted by this, and as far as their uses. And so what would happen, and you may be familiar with this having been in construction, once we change the zone, they're considered legal non-conforming uses. So they can continue in that, in doing what they do. They just are not allowed to expand. And so the ones that are there now would not be able to expand. I don't see that any of them would want to be expanding in the next half of the year, until we get to the general plan rewrite. And then when we do, we will have zoning regulations that will help to make the form and look of them much better so that they can still be there. They would just have to conform with the design guidelines that we have.
And when with those design guidelines, are they going to also be limited to just within 500 feet of Main?
No.
Or we're figuring that it'll be broader?
It'll be more as where the building faces on the street. So we would have, for example, the showroom would be up to the front of the street with windows and access that way with the parking behind. And so it would be those kinds of things rather than the distance. This is, like I said, this is just a simple way for us to create that stopgap measure to buy us some time.
Any other questions for the?
How long will the limited change last?
Well, okay, so we're a little behind on the general plan right now, but we're still looking at having the zoning overhaul done the first quarter of 2026. So,
What we vote on tonight basically is voting until.
likely,
that's
yes,
done.
yes. And then then through the the zoning ordinance overhaul, we'll be looking at all of this again and how we are looking for it for more permanent.
That's great. So glad we're looking at this closely.
Yeah, so,
Just to clarify,
Yeah.
there's nothing in what you're doing tonight and nothing we can do to guarantee that these uses will be permitted in the future.
Yes, yeah, that's important to know. There's not like a time limit on
No.
this, or
This
or
is,
it's
we're
not
changing the
contingent
code.
upon anything else.
Correct. We are changing the
changing the
code
code.
with an intent to evaluate the uses and the appropriate forms of
So
those
in the
uses.
meantime, it's a moratorium.
It's
No,
not a
not a
moratorium.
Not a
moratorium.
moratorium.
Help me understand
It's-
it then.
We're
It's
changing
not
the
in
code.
meantime.
we're changing the code. We're
And it
not,
won't be different until we change it again.
If we change it.
yes, whereas a
If we change
moratorium
it.
has a 6-month
understand.
limit
Okay.
statutorily. This
Yeah.
does not. It could stay as long as, if
Forever.
throughout the zoning overhaul, we determine that this is, we
So-
still want to keep those out, we
So
will
what
keep
we're
them out.
talking about, because I'm used to moratoriums, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is
So what
not-
we're talking
yeah.
about is we're literally making a recommendation to change the code.
Right, we're just taking these uses out of the area that Carla specified
Permanently until,
permanently until we do something else.
Yes,
okay,
and,
great.
If
and
we do
then
something.
yes, and then it may be a matter of, we truly don't want any more of that use, or we are fine with that use as long as it meets our other goals along that of the public realm activation, the walkability, and the kind of more of a aesthetic improvement along that north corridor.
Thank you and understood.
Yes.
Do
So yeah,
we-
that's a difference.
Currently have folks more anxious than than this is moving.
Um,
Is there anybody? Do we have squeaky wheels right now?
No, we don't. Like I said, we do just have a lot of people calling, hey, what can I put on this part?
Dipping
What
their
can I put
toes
on
in.
this lot? You know, if I'm looking at buying this and tearing down the house, what can I put there? And we have a lot of used car dealerships, dealer people who want to come into the city, and because they have to have a physical location to be a bonded dealer, they just want a spot. And then, and we do have ongoing code enforcement issues with some of the some of the used car dealerships now using street space to park the vehicles that are on for sale, and that's against code, or parking them in the park strip. So there are other issues besides just the look and feel. We want to make sure that other sections of the code are being followed as well, and this helps us to do that.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right, let's open a public hearing. Anyone would like to come up and speak?
Seeing none.
Go for it. Make the motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Excellent.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any discussion on this?
Not for me.
I like that it's everybody's thinking about it, being proactive.
I do too, yeah.
Yeah. Any discussion from you, Tyler?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I was just reading through it. It seems like, setting us up for a little bit more, interesting, diverse businesses along that section there instead of what we currently have. So, yeah, nice.
All right. Without any other discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
Just read that sucker.
This one?
So we're, the staff, they recommend to recommend approval,
Okay.
and
great. I do move to approve the amendments
Sorry,
to
move to
Springville.
recommend, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was
Oh,
writ-
it
it
does,
was,
it says approved.
it was written incorrectly.
To
so sorry.
recommend.
That-
So it would be,
I just noted that too.
recommend
Recommend.
approval
Like how this is.
Yeah.
of the amendments to the.
I do recommend to approve the amendments to Springville City Code Title 11, Chapter 4, Article 301, Land Use Matrix to prohibit certain uses within 500 feet of Main Street, Highway 89, from 400 north to 1060 north.
I'll second the recommended motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, and that recommendation passes and we'll move forward with city council. Do we have anything else to discuss from staff? Not listed? All right.
Is it?
One really quick thing, and this is a way but just says that you can maybe have it on your calendar to schedule. The APA's fall conference will be in Salt Lake this year at the Gateway, and they will have a set aside for planning commissioners that they typically do. So if you are using specific training just for you as non-professional planners.
And this is in September or October? In September?
Typically in September, we'll have the dates for you and an agenda as soon as we have it, but just kind of
Okay.
keep that in the back of your mind, so if you want to come up to the Gateway and
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Seeing as there's no other items for discussion, I'll move we close the meeting.
I second this motion.
A motion and a second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yep.
Meeting is
Sorry, I
adjourned.
figured you'd want to be tossed into the fire.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So now we.
Perfect. I figured might as well learn this.
So
There's 5
now we
people here.
wait, and then we have to sign the motions.
Perfect.
No, to apply the senior housing overlay.
Well, actually, maybe we do, and I just forgot and I didn't make one. So I've got this one for you. This is the one.
If
You
we
wanna do
do,
it at the same
she'll
time.
send
Oh, I did not.
That's why I submitted the
sign
application.
and
and
sign thing.
I didn't pay attention to it because normally they just go in the system and
I've got one. I've got one.
Says candy,
I've got one.
which feel free to have that candy. It's not my candy to give
Oh,
away,
is it?
but I
Oh,
think
I
that
thought
it's
it
fine.
was
No.
The mayor gives these things out for Christmas, and the city council members stick them in here.
well, yeah, but we took action on that.
I